A few years before Larry Johnson put on a UNLV uniform, his passion was football. That changed.
As the years went along, and I kept growing, and I found myself 6'5", 6'6", in the 10th, 11th grade, tallest on the team, and becoming my skills started coming up with my height. And I said, hey, let's leave football alone, stick with basketball.
Well, Charlotte liked his decision. As a rookie, he averaged 19 points and 11 rebounds a game. He led the Hornets to its winningest season ever.
He brings his winning attitude, a strong personality, and one day he's going to make and be a part of a great winner here in Charlotte.
You just bring a lot of intensity and a winning attitude towards this ball club, and you always want to be out there with a guy like that.
Larry Johnson was JUCO Player of the Year in Odessa, Texas. Then he was College Player of the Year at UNLV. Last year, Rookie of the Year here in Charlotte. What's next?
I'm the MVP of the league, baby. That's next. It's coming. I don't know when, but it's got to come.
At the Charlotte Coliseum, Ken Slats, WPDE Action Sports. When you think Lakeview football, you think winners. This year, no different. In some ways, even better.
This team's made a lot of good comebacks. They've been down twice in the first quarter. They were down 14-0 in one game and 12-0 another, and they just seem like they never quit. They just keep going after it and seem like something good has happened.
Lakeview is the Class A defending state champions. Last year, they weren't really expected to win it. This year, however, expectations are much higher.
Everyone wants to win it, but it's just so hard to get back that second time, and everyone really looking forward to getting back to it and defending our title again.
It's a little bit of pressure, everybody before me was real tough, and last year people didn't expect us to go all the way, and so we went, and now this year they expect us to go all the way, and so we got to we got to please the fans.
In Lakeview, football's king here. Like I said, you better win or you won't be here long, and they get really excited about the game and they support you wherever you play.
In Lakeview, yep, where football's king, Ken Slats reporting, WPDE Action Sports. Early fall, the Braves didn't look like a Final Four team.
Ken, we started slow. We were once started 1-3 and played some real good football teams. After 7 games, we were 3-4, and it seemed like the team settled down. Our offensive line got better. We've played pretty good defense the entire season. But
the weather definitely plays a factor in football. The conditions are wet and soggy now, and should be that way on Friday night as well. When you have a runner like DeWarren Robinson, you should be pretty happy.
The defense just gets me hyped. Offensive line just tell me to run the ball, say the hole's gonna be there. I just go all out for him.
He's had an outstanding season, and Kenny's gotten better and better throughout the playoffs. Against Stahl 2 weeks ago, we had I think he had about 115 yards rushing on about 12 carries. He had 2 interceptions, a fumble recovery, and had about 10. Was in on about 10 tackles, and that's a pretty good night's work for a high school football player.
And if Robinson puts up numbers like past weeks, the Braves will be playing for a state title. In Sherrod, Ken Slats, WPDE Action Sports. High school football, a sport more important to a student and community than any other. It provides memories that the athletes will remember forever, and if you make it all the way to the top, the feeling is even better.
I always tell our guys this is our time of the year. When the leaves change and it gets cold, then Timmersville want to be still playing football, and that's what we do. That's what we want to motivate them to do.
In Lakeview, football's king here. Like I said, you better win or you won't be here long, and they get really excited about the game.
The excitement of the game is one emotion. For a head coach, it's much more than that.
It starts about the middle of the week, and you start getting that churning in your stomach. And when Friday night rolls around, the band start playing, teams will come in, a big crowd. Hey, if you don't like that, then you need to get out of the sport.
you still get nervous all the time, and you prepare as hard as you can, but when the game starts, you tend to lose that. But up until game time, it's extremely tough.
Ken Slats for WPDE Action Sports.
So without any further ado, let me present to you Dr. Mike McGee. Thank you.
On his 54th birthday, Mike McGee met with the media for the first time as athletics director at USC. Mike McGee comes from the University of Southern California with 8 years experience there. The hottest topic here, though, the football program.
I can't help but tell you how impressed I was with the tremendous turnaround that occurred in the sport of football. I want to offer congratulations to the coaching staff and to this fine team. I look forward to working with Coach Woods and his program.
I feel like, you know, we've reached the mandates that was set when we came here, and now it's time to move on forward and try to reach those conference championships that he was talking about. And in order to do that, we've got to recruit and keep our coaches. So I think the contract will play a big role in that. So obviously I'll be interested in his ideals about that.
And McGee himself is a football man. Besides his playing career, he has coached at 2 Big Ten schools and been the head man at 2 Division I programs. So USC and its football program appear to be in experienced hands. In Columbia, Ken Slats, WPDE Action Sports.
Well, I was born in a small town and I live in a small town.
Lakeview, South Carolina, population, well, around 800. Number of people there interested in Lakeview High School football, just about everyone.
All my friends live in a small town.
Lakeview football means everything to this community. That's what this little town is based on, football. Started back in 1938, I believe, their first championship.
This is probably the heart and soul of the town, football. Everything revolves around it, and the whole town. We had more people at North than North did, and that was 150 miles away, so that tells you what they think of football in Lakeview.
Friday night, 41 Wild Gators will suit up one more time and try to win another championship for this football-crazed town.
I believe, and this is an honest belief, that they're the best in high school ball in the state.
They work well together. They play good together, and they're a fine bunch of boys.
Lakeview football is everything around here. It's just things that you have to do to be a part of this team.
Ken Slats reporting, yep, from Lakeview for WPDE Action Sports. They've won every challenge, but the biggest is yet to come. Saturday night, we'll see if this team is unique.
Our players realize that we have a chance to do something no other Hartsville High School team has done and no other 4A team has done, and that's to be 15-0.
In order to accomplish that, the Red Foxes must beat Aiken, but hey, they've beat everybody else.
I think this is the best team I've coached, mainly because of the attitude. We have some standout players, but we've won 14 games straight by overall team effort, and players' attitudes have been the best of any group I've been around.
Good attitudes, talent, and enthusiasm make up championship teams.
Well, our players are real excited. They've worked hard and just concentrating on Aiken, and it's just a real honor to be here representing our region.
Coach, you a little nervous?
I'm a little nervous. Anytime you're playing for a game of this magnitude, you have to be a little bit nervous, and probably will be up until game time.
In Hartsville, Ken Slats, WPDE Action Sports. Coker comes into the game with FMU on a 2-game winning streak, and when you win, it's always a lot more fun.
I think our fans are into it more with the adding of baseball. We have more men coming through the game and really getting into it. I think they were instrumental in the wins we had last week when we beat Pembroke State and Barber Scotia. Both victories we came from behind.
Well, it's obvious that Coker plays with a lot of emotion, and one of the players that lead that emotion is Socastee High graduate Brian Shoemaker.
He's leading us in scoring right now with 18 points a game. I think he does a terrific job of playing without the ball in his hand to get himself open. And, he's doing what a senior should do. He's giving us leadership and making some big buckets that we need down the stretch.
I say one thing about Brian is hard work. He's always worked hard and he's always wanted to win. And, the work he's put in the summers has paid off. And whatever he deserves and whatever he gets this year, he deserves.
Hey, Brian, what about that nasty noise from the free throw line?
The screaming is it's a Coker tradition now. Jody Patton started it, I think it was against Pembroke when he made 2 big free throws, and I just wanted to continue it. As long as we keep winning, I'm going to keep screaming.
I don't know where it started, and I don't believe I'll be participating in it, but as long as we keep winning, I have no problem with it.
In Hartsville, Ken Slats, WPDE Action Sports.
Cliff Ellis will carry on. Cliff Ellis will put the best basketball program he possibly could. When I came here, it was a challenge. Now I've got a challenge ahead. I've got to accept some responsibilities for what has occurred.
And what has occurred are 2 major violations. One, providing a recruit with improper transportation, and the other, academic standards regarding Wayne Buckingham.
At Clemson University, 1 violation is too many. We're committed to adhering fully to every rule.
The main sanctions deal with recruiting. All paid visits for recruits in '93 are gone, and in 1994, the school is allowed only 2. The normal amount for a university is 12. Now, in addition to the recruiting restrictions, Clemson must also forfeit the 2 games it won in the 1990 NCAA tournament. Now, that's because an ineligible player, Wayne Buckingham, participated in those games.
We'll move on. It's time to look at our players, get them through it, because they have been through a lot, and we'll move forward. But they're in very good spirits.
And the good news, to help those spirits out, the Tigers are allowed to appear on television and compete in postseason play. In Clemson, Ken Slats, WPDE Action Sports.
We lost our leading scorer, Robert Smith. He'll be replaced by the 6th man that we had last year, Matthew, and we look like we could be a pretty good ball club. We just have to kind of wait and see.
Dan D'Antoni has been head coach here at Socastee High School for 16 years now, but because of his son Matthew, this year might be a bit more special.
Yeah, it's a joy. It has its good and its bad, You're maybe sometimes a little more anxious when your son's there, and sometimes you have to take a little heat with it. It's like I said, it's real good though that he's there with you and you get a chance. It's once in a lifetime thing.
It can be fun at times, but people, there's a lot of negative stuff that's said about me, but I just put that off to the side and just play basketball.
And he's only a sophomore, so Matt and his father still have 2 more seasons together after this one. In Horry County, Ken Slats, WPDE Action Sports. College scouts were window shopping today. They were on hand for practice trying to keep Palmetto Preps in the state.
I think it's one of the most important things of all. Like I say, we'll keep our players here, and in 2 years we'll go play them in a bowl game and see what those other players are like in the other states.
One of the state players, however, is gone. Mayo's Lateef Williamson is heading to North Carolina State, but the verbal commitment doesn't mean it's etched in stone.
He's going to give up all of his visits except the Auburn trip because there's still the possibility that Coach Sheridan may go to Auburn.
This game is for the players to showcase their talents and the scouts to pick out the best.
They can see 40 or 80 good quality football players at one time, and who wouldn't be that? And it's like going to a salad bar and looking at all the items, you get to see all of them,
My goal is to show people that, I can play with the best, and
And I want to make the people back home proud of me.
I just want to let everybody know I can play with the best players at South Carolina or North Carolina anywhere else.
Reporting in Myrtle Beach, Ken Slats, WPDE Action Sports.